So good morning everyone, my name is Lalit Soni and you are watching Drishti IES. In this live session, we'll be discussing Indian Express newspaper. We'll be going through 3-4 important articles. As you know that we have started this new section in the discussion that is basically know our constitution. So we'll be discussing that. In the previous discussion, we have talked about the various parts of the constitution and what is the scheme of the constitution. And now in today's discussion, we'll be talking about the preamble, which is the first, you can say this is basically the idea or the philosophy of the constitution. Okay. Other than that, we'll be discussing about the government's You-Win portal that is related to the vaccination. We'll be talking about that. Then we'll go to the next article, that is Karnataka holds private sector quota bill. Okay. So we'll talk about that, and moving forward, we'll be talking about the monsoon trough shifts. Basically, the pressure cells has actually they are been shifting. So we'll be talking about the reasons behind the monsoon right now when we are talking about the various states which are facing surplus of the rainfall, or you can say heavy rainfall. We will see what are the reason behind it. Okay. And we will also go for the forecast, like we will see what is the you can say what is the situation that is gonna be in the next few weeks. Okay. In the end, there will be an article for your own read. Okay, so let's start with the discussion. Here you can say this is the front page of the newspaper. Last week, Supreme Court declared Rahim Ali a citizen, what nobody knew. He died over 2 years ago, a bandit foreigner. So basically, we have talked about this particular case in Assam, wherein there was this person, Mr. Rahim Ali, and he has actually been accused, or you can say alleged, that he was a foreigner, and then he has moved to the, you can say, foreigners tribunal, and then the Supreme Court further. And finally, Supreme Court has said that this person was actually citizen of India, because there was no concrete evidence which suggests that he was a foreigner. But the thing is, when we are talking about this particular issue, we have discussed about the section 9 of the Foreigners Act. Okay, in the section 9 we have seen that the burden of proof of your own, you can say, citizenship, that is basically on the person who is alleged to be a foreigner. Okay, so if there is a person, let's say if I am a person, and then the foreigners tribunal or the agency has said that I am not a citizen of India, and you have to prove the, you can say, your citizenship, then in that case I have to supply the documents saying that I am a citizen of India. And this document can be various, like when we are talking about this particular case, Mr. Ali has this documentation in the electoral rolls of before 1965, as well as after that he has shifted to some other areas. Even then also he has the name in the electoral roll, but there were certain discrepancies which was related to the spellings, etc. Supreme Court has said that that is normal course of action when we are talking about India. There are various human errors which are also present, and ultimately the Supreme Court has granted that he is a citizen of India. But the fact over here is that by the time he has gotten the citizenship of India, he was actually dead. Okay, so 2 years ago he died. Now that is the condition of the judicial system. If we see, that is so much delay is there. Okay, so such situation happens. This is not the first time. There are various cases wherein you will see that because of the long pendency, the kind of you can say cases are there, and the courts are overburdened, and because of which such incidents are happening in India. That is unfortunate, but again, that is the reality. And courts, or you can say the judicial system or the criminal justice system, they are continuously trying to make some changes. There are law commission recommendations, etc., which are there. We have come up with the, you can say, Gram Nyayalaya, etc., so that we can go for the speedy you can say trials, or the you can say decisions on the various cases. So basically these are certain things which are happening in the course of actions, but the thing is the pace is very slow. Anyway, we have discussed this particular article, so we will not go into further details of it. Just know that there was this when we are talking about Assam, there were certain things which are important, that is basically related to your NRC, that is important. And there was this 19 you can say Assam Accord is there, so please go and check about that Assam Accord. Okay, other than that, you know that citizenship laws, etc., which has been in news, we have discussed, because recently CAA rules has also been notified, so all these things becomes important for you. Okay, now second is the after backlash, Karnataka government puts private sector quota bill on the hold. We will talk about that article in detail. Okay, so let's start. Will this analysis work for CLAT preparation? See, this is a general news analysis. It will work for everything. Okay, if you are for your general knowledge, if you are preparing for any further kind of exam, so in such cases this analysis will be good enough. Okay, now moving further, We'll start with the practice question which was given to you in the previous lecture. That question was, which part of the Indian constitutions deal with the directive principle of the state policy? Okay, so when we are talking about the part 1, we have seen that was related to union and territories. Okay, then part 3, that is basically related to your fundamental rights, and the part 4, that was basically related to your DPSPs. Okay, 9 was related to your panchayats. Okay, now coming to the next part, option C would be a right answer. Now coming to the next part, yesterday we have discussed this. Hold on. Yesterday we have discussed that basically know your constitution. We have discussed the various parts of the constitution. We have seen that there are total, here you can see 22 parts are there. We have gone through them one by one. We have seen that there are certain parts which are important, like 1 to 11, and then there are certain emergency related provisions are important, official language related provisions are important. So this is how we have talked about it. Now today we will be talking about the first thing that comes into your mind, that when we are talking about a document, when we talk about, let's say, our constitution, so we have to have an idea what constitution talks about, what is there in the constitution. So basically preamble is basically the, you can say, heart and soul of the constitution. It actually gives you an idea of the philosophy of the constitution, how it was written, why it was written. Okay, so basically when we are talking about the preamble is a document which tells you about the objectives of the constitution. You know that there was this objective resolutions, okay, that was put forward by the Jawaharlal Nehru when the assembly was meeting and they were drafting the constitution. At that point of time, he has put forward the objective resolutions, and you can say that the crux of that particular resolution has been put into the preamble. Here, when we are talking about the preamble, I have put two pictures over here. One is the original one. Okay, the thing is, when we are talking about the preamble that has been amended, or you can say there has been certain changes which has been made here, that is in the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, so you can remember that. And so this is the original copy, original one, and then there were certain changes which has been made over here. We'll first go through the original one. We, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic. Now there are three words which are written over here: sovereign, democratic, and republic. So basically it is giving you an idea of the nature of the state. Okay, and secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith and worship, equality of status and of opportunity, and to promote among all fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and to give ourselves this constitution. That is the original text of the constitution. Here we have seen what is the nature of the state, and then we have seen that what state will be giving to its citizens. That is justice, that is of social, equal, and the social, economic, and the political justice. Then liberty, equality, and the when we are talking about the what we are supposed to do, that is we have to protect the fraternity and the, you can say, integrity of the country. Okay, now this is about the you can say original text. Then in when we are talking about the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act, in that there are certain changes which has been made. Here these three words were the sovereign, democratic, and republic. Now they have added socialist and secular. It was not that before that we were not socialist or the secular country, we were, okay, but these words exclusively has been added in the 42nd Constitution Amendment Act. Okay, so these two words becomes important. Other than that, there were other changes which has also been you can say introduced over here, that is the unity and the integrity of the nation. Okay, so these word has been added in the 42nd Constitution Amendment. Now the text actually you can say reads that we, the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure among all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political. These are the three kind of justice which state is supposed to provide to the citizens. Liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship. Now you will see when we are talking about this justice, that is basically, you can say, idea of the DPSPs. Okay, when we are talking about the liberty, equality, fraternity, these are basically from your fundamental rights, liberty and equality. Okay, when we are talking about the equality, that is the Article 14 and so on. Okay, and then when we are talking about the liberty, that is the freedom of speech and expression, that is also given over here. Okay, then fraternity, assuring the dignity of the individual and the unity and the integrity of the nation. Okay, and this is the date. That is the date that which says that we have given ourselves, or you can say we have enacted the constitution. Okay, that is 26th November 1949. Now you have to remember this particular date. Okay, so that is about preamble. When we are talking about the amendability of the preamble, if we can change the preamble or not, so answer is simple yes, that because we have already done it. But the thing is, we cannot take away the basic essence or the basic feature of the constitution from any particular provision, so that applies here as well. Okay, so moving further and starting with the today's discussion, that is first is basically related to UWin portal. Okay, when we are talking about the COVID-19, you know that after that we have gone for the vaccination drive, etc. And these vaccination drives were basically online. You know, you can go and register online, and then there will be a certificate, etc., etc. So we have streamlined the process, wherein we have a platform wherein we can get the vaccination certificate, etc. Now government is trying to spread that particular technology, or you can say that particular element of the digitization into the vaccination programations which are going on in India. Okay, now coming to the article, a digital vaccine card for every child, government's UWin portal to redraw immunization map. Okay, so that is basically related to our vaccination drive. You know that there are various programs like Indradhanush, etc., which are there. Okay, now sitting in a Porta cabin in Tindli village in Madhya Pradesh, Jabalpur district, ASA worker Reena Patel uses the smartphone to uses her smartphone to fill in the details of month-old baby on UWin, the government's new child vaccination management portal. Okay, so basically now this is the thing which is important for us from the whole discussion, that is UWin. That is basically a portal for the you can say that is related to the child vaccination, and that portal is there, and for everyone there will be a digital vaccination card. Right now what happens is that we used to provide you with a particular document, or you can say there is a card which is a physical card, and then whenever vaccination is there they will enter it over here, and for the next dose you have to take that particular card. Okay, let's say if you are moving through the city, and at that point of time you have to take that particular card with you if that date of the vaccination, the second dose is there. Okay, now that sometimes might be difficult because you might not be able to carry that particular card, or you might miss out on it. So now when we are talking about this particular thing, that is basically a digital vaccination card that you will be able to access it. Okay, now the part of quite digital revolution in this particular field, that is set to change the way maternal and the child health care is delivered across the country. UWin is likely to be launched on 15th of August. Now, right now, when we are talking about this particular incident which is happening in the Madhya Pradesh, there was this ASHA worker who has actually registered a child on the UWin portal. That is a pilot project. Okay, there are certain areas where this pilot project has started. Now for in our country throughout, that particular project will start from the 15th of August. This will be a game changer for the primary healthcare, making a transition from existing vaccination cards that ASHA and the other healthcare worker update manually to completely digital, that will be completely digitalized on the platform that is there, that is UWin. Okay, so basically that will help you maintain records in the digital form. Okay, and the vaccination journey of every child in 0 to 5 age group. So they will be giving a particular card. The Tindli village is the part of the government's pilot project. Currently 64 districts to register pregnant women and the children on UWin portal. Okay, so there are total 64 districts which are basically going for this pilot project, and it will be starting from the 15th of August. Okay, now here you will see how does the UWin work. Okay, this particular platform, how does it will work. The children between 0 to 5 will be registered on the UWin platform. Okay, vaccine given at birth are also recorded. Now at that point of time when there is a child birth, they will be recording this child on the, you can say, UWin portal. If there is a delay, they will be, you can say, registering him afterwards, but they will mention the details of the vaccination which was done at the time of the birth. So there will be a record of these vaccinations. Okay, now moving forward, a list of children who are scheduled to revive their vaccine doses is generated through UWin. Now the thing is, this is a digital platform. Once your data is entered, okay, and now we know that within one first dose and the second dose there will be a particular time gap, and after that particular time gap they will already schedule you can say second dose on a particular date. Okay, there can be given reminders, can also be given through this particular app. Okay, the e-record helps the children get vaccinated in different places without carrying a booklet. The portal sends SMS to the parents. Okay, so basically, as I told you, there will be a reminder. Second thing is, since it is a digital card, so you don't have to carry the manual booklet which has been given at the time of the birth, that is talking about all the vaccinations. So that is there. The portal also records birth weight and the details of the physical deformities, if any. This can be used for the other government programs. Okay. Now, when we are talking about when we started or when we came up with the Aadhaar, okay, there was Aadhaar having a particular limited use. Okay. Afterwards, with time, we have actually realized that we can use it for various purpose. You know that when we are talking about USA, there is this social security number, and that social security number is basically an identity of a person when we are talking about the society and the law and order. So basically, social security number of a person is attached with every kind of platform, every digital or the manual platforms. These social security numbers are there. Okay, so that is because they have a digitized infrastructure over there, and India is also trying to create something like that, because obviously if everything is streamlined, no doubt there are certain concerns of surveillance, there are concerns related to the privacy, etc., that are there, and that will always be there. But there are things which we are trying to streamline as well. So that is one of the example. For the vaccination, we have this UWIN portal for the children, and this will also be utilized in the neonatal care, or the, you can say, when we are talking about the maternal care, etc. For that also it will be utilized later. Okay, moving further, here you will see that Patel says every immunization day, that is the lady who was part of the pilot project. Patel says every immunization day, the portal automatically generates a list of children who are due for vaccination and send SMS to their parents. Okay, so let's say on 5th of April, there was this kid, or there is a list of kids which has actually taken the first dose. Okay, on the day, or on the day of the second dose, let's say that date is basically 5th of July. Okay, on that date, this portal will automatically create the list of these children, and these workers don't have to put any extra effort, and with that particular list they will be sending a SMS automatically from the portal to the parents of these children. Okay, now these alerts will be alerts will mention that the vaccination dates and the nearest health center where the children can be taken for their shots. We also remind parents a day ahead so that there is no question of children missing the shots. Okay, now the real-time registration of the children and the digital vaccination record on UWIN platform are aimed at reducing the number of zero-dose children. Zero-dose children are basically those who do not receive their first dose of vaccine for diphtheria, pertussis and tetanus. Okay, so basically there are these three, basically you can say there is a combination of these three vaccines which are there, and these first shots, if are not given, then that is called as zero dose children. Okay, now we are trying to reduce these number of children who has not gotten the shots of diphtheria and pertussis and the tetanus, especially among the migrant workers who can get their children vaccinated at any center in the country. Now this is one thing which is there, since you have a digital card. Okay, so at any center of the country you can go and get vaccinated, so that will help the migrant workers as well. Okay, without the hassle of carrying their child's vaccination card. Here they are talking about the manual vaccination card or the booklet. Right now we are talking about the digital ones. Okay, now the UWIN portal is one of the important steps towards halving the number of the zero children dose by the, or you can say zero dose kids by 2030. We are trying to decrease the number or reduce the number to half by this particular platform. Okay, now besides details of children, the pregnant women who are due for vaccination, the UWIN portal will have a record of health centers and the community health workers as well. So basically slowly we will be streamlining this particular process. And when we are talking about the this particular UWIN portal, this is not only about the children. Right now it is, obviously we have said that it is basically, or you can say most importantly, it is for the children. But the thing is, there are other elements as well, that is for the pregnant women as well, and there are certain details of the, you can say, community health workers and the health center, which is also there in the UWIN portal. Okay, I hope that is clear. Okay, so now moving further, that is next article which is related to your Karnataka. In Karnataka state, they have come up with a kind of reservation for the local people in the private jobs as well. Okay, so basically that was the idea or the proposal which has been put forward in the, you can say, cabinet, and cabinet has approved it as well. But the thing is, afterwards when we are talking about the other stakeholders, they have actually raised some concerns related to that, and because of which the state government has decided to put a hold on that as of now. What was the provision with respect to that? Was there was this particular bill which was talking about that in the non-managerial posts, say there will be a you can say reservation of 75% of the locals or the Kannadigas from that particular area, and for the management related posts 50% reservation will be given to the locals. Now because of this, when we are talking about the Karnataka and the tech hubs like Bangalore, etc., so you will see that there are various people who are coming from the different states, and they are basically going for their jobs. When we are talking about the IT industry, that is totally based in the, you can say, Bangalore, and you can say Karnataka is basically famous for the IT industry. So if there are most of the engineers which are there in that particular industry, they are coming from all across the India, and now if you are going for the, you can say, local reservation, then there will be a lot of chaos which will happen over there, and because of which, you can say, efficiency of the industry might also decline, because obviously when we are talking about the locals of that particular area, and they know that they will be getting 75% of the reservation over there, those people or those meritorious you can say engineers which are there, they might have to move out from that particular arena. Okay, so that was there. So industry people, or you can say the owners of that particular companies, or there are various stakeholders, they have told that this will be an idea which is moving you to a negative direction, or you can say negative progress. Okay, so basically that is why the government has considered it and they have put a hold on it. So let's talk about this. So Karnataka government that proposed law on job reservation in the private sector would drive away companies and set the clock back on the progress. Bill has been withheld and the cabinet would discuss it comprehensively in the next meeting. The Karnataka State Employment of the Local Candidates in the Industry, Factories and the Establishment Bill 2024. This is the name of the bill. You don't have to remember this. This is the provision 75% of the reservation, 75% reservation in the non-management job and 50% reservation in the management job for the local candidates. Okay. Now Karnataka has joined the states such as Andhra and Haryana. Even Andhra and Haryana, they have actually come up with this idea. Andhra never implemented it, but the thing is, when we are talking about Haryana, they have implemented it, but the Supreme Court has struck it down. Okay. So here you can say Andhra Pradesh and Haryana in proposing job quotas in the private sector. Haryana, the Supreme Court struck down the law, calling it unconstitutional, whereas Andhra never implemented on it this particular law in the ground. Okay, so that is about this particular article. So right now it is on the hold. Let's see what happens. Other than that, there is a law with respect to the gig workers. Okay, this gig workers, and that law has also been talked about in Karnataka. Okay, so we will be talking about that in either your economy this week or the polity this week. Okay, so keep a tab on that as well. Okay, now moving further to the next article, which is related to the monsoon. Here we have discussed that there are certain states which we have actually gone for the surplus, and there are certain states which are actually little below the, you can say, normal averages. But the thing is, we will see why right now we are seeing these large rains in a particular area. Okay, so we will see that. We will see what are the weather forecast for the next week as well. Now coming over here, why I am discussing this monsoon over here is that I am trying to tell you that there are certain pressure cells which are actually shifting. Okay, the idea is not to tell you that what will be the weather news, etc. That is not the idea. But the thing is, as a student of geography, you should know that how monsoon actually works. Okay. Now coming to the article, at least 80% of India receives rainfall with heavy to very heavy spells, that is around Assam, West Bengal, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Gujarat, coastal areas of Maharashtra, Karnataka, Kerala and Lakshadweep. Now I'll put these markers on the map over here so that it will be easy for us to understand. They are talking about this particular area, Uttarakhand or Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. They are talking about this area as well. They are talking about the West Bengal area over here as well, and they are talking about the northeastern region as well. Okay, so these are the areas basically they are talking about. Now we will see why these issues are happening, or you can say heavy rainfall is happening in this particular area. Much of this rainfall has been brought by the monsoon. Obviously we know that onset of the monsoon is just 1st of June, and from that we are witnessing these monsoon spells. So the most of the rainfall is because of the monsoon, but there are certain other favorable conditions which are happening. Okay, that favorable condition over here is that which is resulting into the increase in the rainfall activities. These include southern peninsular, east, northeast and the central India. Okay, so these are the area where we are witnessing the high rainfall. Now what are the factors? Now there are two main contributors. Okay, there is this you can say there are various pressure cells, you know that, and whenever we are having these low pressure cells in the vicinity, there will be high rainfall. Okay, here you will see one is the continuous incoming of the moisture laden strong westerly winds from the Arabian Sea. Now when we are talking about the monsoon over here, if you will see the map, these are basically westerlies. Westerlies means that they are originating from the west and they are coming to the east. Okay, so basically here you will see these are the westerly winds which are entering into India. These are basically your monsoon winds. Okay, now the thing is these are so strong right now and they are taking monsoon from the sea and they are entering into India. Most of the time what will happen is that there are, you know, there are western ghats, Sahyadris are there, and they will actually go for the rain over here. Some part will divert from Gujarat, and there are Aravali's, they will go into, you know, areas of Delhi, etc. Okay, and there is another monsoon also is there which is coming from this particular branch. Okay, but that is right now, that is not a cause of concern. Okay, now there is this particular that is one thing, and that is because the monsoon winds are, or the westerly winds are basically taking moistures from the sea and they are coming to the mainland India. And second, if we are talking about the semi-permanent low pressure area extending between Pakistan and the Bay of Bengal. Now here when we are talking about this Tibetan plateau, you can say below that or the south of that we have this low pressure area over here. Okay, so this low pressure zone is there from the Pakistan to West Bengal. This low pressure zone, if it shifts to the southern side, okay, so more rainfall will be witnessed in this particular area. If this will shift to the northern side, they will witness the more rainfall, like the areas of, you can say, Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh and all these things. But if this line or this particular system of low pressure basically they is going to the, in the south direction, then you will witness more rainfalls over here. Right now this pressure is existing between Pakistan and Bangladesh, and that is why we are witnessing rainfalls over here, these areas of, you can say, some areas of Gujarat, in the areas of West Bengal, in Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, etc. Okay, now coming to the article again, here you will see a semi-permanent low pressure area extending between Pakistan and the Bay of Bengal during the monsoon season. It oscillates north to south. Whenever it moves towards the south of its normal position, as it has done in the present case, in this particular case it has gone in the south, more rainfall can be taken in the areas of the central, eastern and the peninsular India. Okay, here you will see when this particular zone is shifting to south one, so you will see that mostly you will find the rainfall in the central India. Okay, some parts of eastern India, northeastern India, eastern India over here as well as. Okay, so that is why we are witnessing rainfall in this particular areas. Okay, when we are talking about this rainfall, we have seen that in the western Ghats also we are witnessing rainfall. That is because monsoon is taking moisture from the seas, Arabian Sea, and that is entering into the western Ghats. Okay, now here you will see, if the shift is towards the north, the Himalayan foothills are likely to get more rainfall, while the rest of India will have a drop in the rainfall. So that is basically, we have seen that is because of one particular situation which is there, that is your you can say this low pressure system which is extending from the Pakistan to the Bay of Bengal. Okay, so that is there. Now coming to the next part, there are other situations as well. We have discussed the La Nina phenomena as well. So La Nina is also starting. So that is another one thing, but we have not discussed it. Other than that, there are certain other pockets of low pressure area which are generated. So here you will see the persistence of the offshore trough or the shallow trough of the low pressure, that is India's coast during the monsoon. That is, one is your South Gujarat and the North Kerala for more than a week now. Now here you will see they are saying the South Gujarat, North Kerala, there is also a low pressure zone which is there. There another low pressure zone is they are talking about over here as well. So that is why these are the area which are witnessing these you can say rainfall. Okay, so here wind shear zone is there, that is basically between, you can say, central and the peninsular India. Then other than that, low pressure system over the western central Bay of Bengal, west central Bay of Bengal of the Orissa coast, which we have seen over here, that I told you that even here also we are having a low pressure system, and that is why we are witnessing a rainfall over here as well. Now moving further, here you will see Chhattisgarh and the adjoining Vidarbha region, that is also witnessing rainfall because of the low pressure system which is there in the of Orissa coast. Okay, then what is the current rainfall status? So the rainfall has increased. These numbers are not important for us. I'll just tell you that from 242 mm on the July 9th of July, and that has been coming to the 305.8 mm on the 17th of July, and it stands at the 97% of the normal for this particular season. Okay, so you don't have to worry about this particular thing right now. If you want to see where we are witnessing more rainfall, here you can see 17 states are either receiving the normal or the above normal rainfall this season, but there are few states and union territories such as Odisha, Haryana, Chandigarh, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, along with the high rainfall recording states such as Kerala, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, where rainfall has been deficient so far. Okay, so basically these are the areas where normal or little bit of above normal is there when we are talking about these 17 states, and these are the areas where there is a little bit deficient. Okay, now there are other states like here you can say especially in the Konkan region or the Goa, Western Ghats, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, coastal Karnataka, Kerala, these are the areas where they have witnessed high rainfall. Other than that, here you will see Uttarakhand, West Uttar Pradesh, Gujarat, West Bengal, these are the areas which have actually received high rainfall. What will be the trends in the next week? So you will see that the southwest monsoon will continue to remain active in the next week as well, because right now it is not losing the moisture, and as far as it is having the moisture, it will go for the rains. Okay, so that is about it. Now we can move further to the next article. Before that, I will tell you few things over here from the map, that when we are talking about the onset of the monsoon, okay, monsoon strikes India mainland in Kerala. Okay, from over here, you can see that this is the 1st of June from where basically monsoon is entering. Okay, other than that, when we are talking about the total territory, Indian territory, if we are talking about, so Andaman and Nicobar is the place where monsoon strikes first. That is around somewhere around 20th or 21, 22, 22nd May. That is the time when it will strike around the Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, see, these winds are like this, something they will come like form like this, and then they will turn into this. Okay, so that is why these are westerlies basically. So here they actually strike the Kerala coast on the 1st of June, and then they will start moving to the mainland India. Here you will see 5th June, 10th June, 15th June. When we are talking about the areas of Delhi and Rajasthan, there will be in the July they will see the monsoon. So that is there. So please keep a tab on that. The thing is, when we are talking about the Indian territory, it strikes on Andaman and Nicobar first, and when we are talking about the mainland India, okay, so we will be saying that the Kerala is the place where monsoon strikes first. Okay, now moving further to the next article, which is related to the parental consent, uncertain over the technology, MeitY reach out to the industry. Now they have come up with an act, that is the Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023. Okay, in that act, what they have said that those kids who are using the online services, for that there should be a criteria for the verification by the parents, verification of age by the parents. Okay, but the thing is, they have not come up with a technology, or you can say they have not actually given a particular provision in the act which talks about the technology which will be used in that, and that is why they have actually contacted the industry, and they have said that you come up with the particular technology, and you, according to your reasonability, you can use that technology. The thing is, the objective is that there will be a verification when a kid is using the phone or the online services. That verification will be done by the parents. Okay, so that is why this article was in news. There is nothing much to discuss because there is already discussion has been happened over here. But the thing is, there is this provision in this Digital Personal Data Protection Bill that here you will see it requires that the tech companies to develop a consent framework to verify a child's age, people below the age of 18, and gather their parents' consent before they can use any online service. This is the provision which is there in 2023 Act. Now the thing is, the government is approaching the industry. They are asking them to come up with the framework for them because they do not have the required technology. Okay, here, unable to narrow down to a conclusive technological intervention to allow the tech companies gathering parental consent before processing children's personal data, the IT industry has reached, IT ministry has reached out to the industry for inputs from the how requirement can be implemented. Okay, so that is there. When we are talking about the other countries like you can say European Union, okay, in the European Union, you know that there are more strict laws when with respect to the data protection. Here, European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, that is GDPR, considered to be among the strict privacy laws globally, on the other hand, require data collectors to make reasonable efforts using available technology to verify that the consent provided on the behalf of the children under the age of 13 by the parents. Here also they are saying that you will have to have a reasonable technology. You will actually go for the you can say decision on the technology. How it is to be done, that is on the industry. You have to do it reasonably, but the thing is, it has to be done. Similar is there when we are talking about the United States Children Online Privacy Protection Act. Okay, so in that also they have said that the data collector has the obligation to go for the consent or taking a consent from the parents in case the kids are basically using these services. In that case also you have to have a particular framework, okay, and but these particular requirement has to be fulfilled. Okay, now here you will see the Digital Personal Data Protection Act 2023 requires tech companies to develop a consent framework to verify a children's age. People below the age of 18 gather their parents' consent before they can use the service. Some entities can be exempted from obtaining verifiable parents' consent, and the age getting needs to be included in the healthcare and the educational institution. If there is a healthcare and the educational institution, in some cases there are certain exceptions which are there, but the thing is mostly if there is an online service and a kid is using it, then parents must verify that his age is they can verify the, you can say, age of that particular person and other personal information which is being collected by the you can say various agencies. Okay, so that is about this particular article. Now we can move further to the next one, that is related to a climatic conference in November. Azerbaijan asked countries to come prepared with the strongest strategies. Okay, now there is this COP19, Conference of Parties 19, which is to be happening in the Azerbaijan in Baku. So basically Azerbaijan has for the first time actually written letters to various stakeholders, various countries, that they have been concerned about the climate change and you have to be equipped when you are coming to the conference. You have to tell us about what you are doing with respect to that, what we have to do it. All these things they have actually given a, you can say, prior to the conference they have given a notice to, or you can say a letter to all the stakeholders, and considering that you have to be prepared when you are coming to the COP29, because this is the high time we understand that what is the this issue of climate change and how we have to actually mitigate that. Okay, now the second thing is they have also told that there are geopolitical concerns when we are talking about the wars which are going on in the Middle East and then Russia Ukraine wars, etc. They have said that you have to divert your focus from war when you are coming to the COP29, because environmental concerns are way more high and their stakes are way more high. Okay, now coming to this article, here you will say, in the first of its kind initiative, Azerbaijan, host of this year's climate change conference COP29 in November, has reached out to all the countries through a public letter asking them to enhance their climate actions, as it tries hard to deliver a keenly awaited deal to scale up the flow of financial resources from the developed countries. Now when we are talking about the Paris conference or the other conference, everywhere they have actually talked about the funding, okay, with respect to the whatever initiatives they are taking in the arena of the climate change or to mitigate or to adopt climate change. When we are talking about the developed countries, they have more responsibility. They are supposed to give certain funds, but they have not. Okay, so they have said that you have to scale up all these things so that resources can be made available to the developing countries. Azerbaijan said COP29, short for the 29th Conference of Parties to the UNFCCC, was litmus test for the effective implementation of the Paris Agreement 2015. Now they will be discussing the implementation of the effectiveness of the Paris Agreement which has happened in 2015. Okay, and for the global climate action and the cooperation, the world must not get distracted by the growing geopolitical tensions and the uncertainties in the international environment, and continues to focus on the addressing climate change as the greatest transitional challenge through the century. Okay, so basically here they have said that you don't have to right now you have to you don't have to get distracted by the wars which are going on over here. Right now the more difficult challenge is that climate change. Okay, to forge a consensus on the important issues, but it is usually done through the bilateral and the multilateral meetings. So basically they will be talking about various issues which are there in the climate change arena. Mostly that is related to finance, mostly that is related to the obligations which are made on the developed countries and their obligations towards the developing countries, so that they can send the funds and the technology transfer, etc. But developed countries are not taking these responsibilities and they are not doing it as of now. It is the first time that a host nation, which also presides over the conference, has issued out an open letter explaining in details how it wants to conduct the conference and highlighting the important issues at the that need to be resolved. Okay, so they have actually talked about deal on the finances, new collective quantified goal, that is NCQZ, on finance, then greater amounts for money to enable the climate actions. Contentious, there are various most contentious part if we are talking about an agreement over a new amount of money that developed countries must provide as the finance support to the developing countries. Ultimately, everything they are talking about the finances only over here. Obligation to mobilize at least $100 billion US dollars by 2020, which we could not achieve. So now they are saying that that amount should be increased, and that should be you can say basically this time that goal has to be achieved, and requires an upward revision of this 100 billion US dollars figure after 2025. Obviously, since we know that when we are talking about the targets which we are not attaining at the current pace, if we are going, then we will not be able to attain the target of keeping the temperature below 2 degrees Celsius. Okay. So that is about this particular article. And right now, if we can talk about the location of Azerbaijan as well, when we are talking about the Azerbaijan and Armenia, you know that Armenia is a place in the vicinity of Azerbaijan, and there is this issue, that is Nagorno-Karabakh issue, that is a contemporary issue which is there. So please keep a tap on that. Okay, so that is basically your Azerbaijan over here. Okay, and you can say it is having a border. This is Caspian Sea, and then when we are talking about Russia, Georgia, Armenia is there, and then Iran is there. So these are the countries which are having a border with here Azerbaijan. Okay, and here you will see somewhere over here we have Baku, that is the capital. Okay, so here this is Azerbaijan, Russia is one country, Georgia is another, Armenia is another, and then when we are talking about this particular place, this is Iran, and this area over here, that is basically Nagorno-Karabakh region, that is basically contested between Armenia and Azerbaijan. Okay, and this is your Caspian Sea, with which it is having a maritime border. This is Baku, this is basically the capital. Okay, I hope that is clear. Now moving forward, for your own read, there is this article, animals on the island face a greater risk of the extinction. Okay, so you can go through this particular article. Okay, they have talked about the particular animals which are having a slow metabolism. Okay, they are more getting affected, they are getting affected by the anthropogenic activities, and that is why they are concerned that they might go for the, they are at the risk of the extinction. Okay, now moving further, last part, that is basically your practice question for your prelims. Where does monsoon strike first on the Indian mainland? Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Goa or Gujarat? So you can attempt this question and answer in the comment box. With that, I would like to take your leave. I'll see you in the next session. Till then, have a good day. Thank you. And if you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe it.